The Jackson Purchase took place on this land, which was part of the historic homeland of the Chickasaw Nation. 8,500 square miles in western Kentucky and Tennessee were purchased by the U.S. government in 1818. General Andrew Jackson and Kentucky Governor Isaac Shelby negotiated the sale with Chickasaw leaders. This territorial expansion opened up the Tennessee, Ohio, and Mississippi Riverlands to settlement by the Euro-Americans. And this historical marker was funded by the Kentucky 250th Commission and the Historical Society. This is Fulton, Kentucky. Let's go. What's going on, good people? This is P9 coming at you guys with another vlog, and I'm about to take a walk through Fulton, Kentucky, which sits on the state line of Kentucky and Tennessee. So we're going to walk around the town, get the vibes of this small town on the Kentucky line. So let's get into it, shall we? So Fulton, Kentucky is located in Fulton County in the western half of Kentucky. And its population is 2,357 residents. And this is the land where Fulton is located was the ancestral hunting grounds of the Chickasaw Indians prior to U.S. acquisition of the territory via Jackson Purchase in 1818. And the Chickasaws named this land originally the Pontotoc, which translates to land of the hanging grapes or Cattail Prairie. So that's what this Fulton was called before, and it was called Pontotoc. And right over here is this community center for Pontotoc Community Center, that's so aptly named due to the land's historical ties to that name. And you also have this arch right here that states, "Welcome to the Twin Cities of Fulton, Kentucky and South Fulton, Tennessee." So if you face this way, going over this direction, you will cross into the state of Tennessee. You can even see the Tennessee state flag and the American flag right over there. So this road straddles the state line. I forgot to mention the name of this particular fountain. It's called the Dancing Waters. It was designed and created by Ed and Ed Colley. So literally Ed with one D and Ed with two D's. And Elaine Forrester, mayor, B. Roger Pulley, city manager, and funded by the Rotary Club of Fulton/South Fulton. So really nice fountain designed and created by Ed and Ed Colley, called Dancing Waters. Fulton Clinic. And there's some businesses down this way as well. We're gonna go over here to this historic caboose, part of the Illinois Central Railroad. Now, another interesting fact about Fulton, Kentucky, is that it was once known as the banana capital of the world because 70% of imported bananas to the U.S. were shipped through Fulton. So there was a railroad line that connected New Orleans to Chicago. And Fulton, they will make a stop in Fulton. If they ship bananas, they would stop at a local ice house here in Fulton. And every year, the city of Fulton hosts what's called the Banana Festival. As you can see, there goes the Illinois Central rail car right there. And you also have this First Financial Bank over here. Let's see if I can go down this way. They have this park over here, park benches. And this looks like the Lions International Club. It sponsors this park. There's a whole bunch of sponsors over here on this display. Very well, very well. State Farm agent, City of Fulton, and a bunch of other locals. First State Bank. Whole bunch of individuals made their contributions to this park, so shouts out to them. They have a Food Right grocery store over there. And that's Food Right, R-I-T-E. Over there in that parking lot. So this park is called Civic Park. So it was established in 2010. As you can see right here. It's an abandoned shop right here. And you have what's called Leader Travel. Leader 100 years in the Twin Cities. So it looks like this is at one time a retail shop. I believe this is a retail shop called Leader. Fancy Fanny's Bakery. Okay. Bradley Chiropractic. Stone Lane Company, where you can come get your hearing aids and battery services, hearing aid services. Two Doors Down Boutique. Okay, got a couple of boutiques in this building. They have another one over here called Butterfly Lane Boutique. Shout out to the small businesses. This is a life insurance company called Woodman Life. It's the Keg Bar and Grill. They even have trivia nights on every Tuesday, 7 p.m. That sounds like it's pretty cool. Sounds like a lot of fun. Again, it's called the Keg. Let's see. This looks like a farmer's market pavilion over there. But let's go check this out. This is a pedestrian walkway. It's called the Ventures Village. As you can see right here, Ventures Village, established in 2024. All shops open Saturdays. Individual shop hours may vary. Okay, so I guess a bunch of vendors come over here, set up shop in these buildings, these different buildings on Saturdays. Oh, that's pretty dope. I don't think I've ever seen anything like this, where they have a bunch of empty buildings that they only occupy on the weekends, on Saturdays. And yeah, they come over here and set up shop and, you know, basically provide some shopping services. Little entrepreneurs and small shop owners or come over here. You got the Fulton, Kentucky state sign right there. And it's twin city of South Fulton, Tennessee. So the orange and blue representing the orange for Tennessee Vols and the blue for Kentucky Wildcat. And you have the yellow building that represents the Banana Festival. Again, held annually here at Fulton on Saturdays. And I believe I think they're week-long festivals, if I remember correctly. They have them here. They host them in September. So I'm going to try to get out to the Banana Festival this year. I'm not going to make any guarantees because that's around the time I take my Michigan trip. So it really varies. But if I don't make it to this year's, I'll definitely make it a point to make it to the Banana Festival in next year, 2027. Because from what I saw online, based on the pictures and everything like that of the festival, it looks like it's pretty dope. Like a pretty cool festival. And we can't forget about this gazebo right here that sits right in the midst of all these colorful buildings. So it's a pretty unique setup. And you could, from over here, you can see the rear of the post office, which services the Fulton, Kentucky and South Fulton, Tennessee area. And there's a tire shop down there that way. Suter's Tire Center. Right over here on Walnut Street, you can see facing that way is the post office. You have a fitness center right here, 24/7 fitness club. Looks like they're setting up. They're getting ready to set up a farmer's market over there, something of that sort. And they also have a barbershop right here called Diamond's Barbershop. And there goes Fulton City Hall right there. City Hall in that building. So right across the street from where we were, those array of stores. Right over here on the other side of First Financial Bank. And this right here where you see this clock tower is the Campbell Plaza. This Campbell Plaza is named in honor of John Joe and Betty Joe Campbell. As you can see, there goes the gentleman and the lovely lady right here. Again, that's John Joe and Betty Joe Campbell. And this was dedicated by their sons, John Hudson Campbell and Jeffrey J. Campbell, and given to the citizens of Fulton, Kentucky by Jeff Campbell in 2010. So I believe Jeff Campbell must be the son of John Joe and Betty Joe. And we're gonna learn more about lifelong Fulton native Jeff Campbell a little later on. But apparently they have little information of the Campbell family bloodline. You have Squire Duncan Sylvester Campbell, first settler of what will become the 6 generations of Campbells to be born and raised in Fulton County, Kentucky. Duncan was born in 1784 in North Carolina and the son of William Campbell of England, who came to America and settled in North Carolina prior to the American Revolution. So Squire Duncan Sylvester Campbell was the first settler from this Campbell generation. And William Campbell was the second of 9 children to be born to Squire Duncan Campbell and Penelope Cook on August 3rd, 1821. He worked alongside his father in their farming operation and married Natricia F. Dent of Weakland County, Tennessee, December 17th, 1856. And to that union were born 6 children, the youngest being Robert Lee Campbell. William died in 1892, and he and his wife, being Methodist, were buried at Ebenezer Cemetery right here in Fulton County, Kentucky. You also have Robert Lee Campbell, the 3rd generation of the Campbells. So that's pretty neat that they have information, little plaques of different Campbells, different generations of Campbells. You also have John Hudson Campbell and Jeffrey J. Campbell, who represent the 6 generations of Campbells. You know, Jeff attended the University of Kentucky, while his brother John Hudson Campbell married a second time in 2008, and they currently him and his wife currently reside in Florence, Alabama. So Jeff is now involved in community affairs and philanthropy. And this is about John Joe Campbell, the gentleman we just read about, who was married to Miss Betty Joe Hudson, who became Betty Joe Campbell. So they met back in 1950, and it was till death did them part. Betty Joe was a homemaker, while John Joe was very involved with the church and community affairs. So very interesting history right here. William Presley Campbell represented the 4th generation of Campbells. So he basically had a 6th grade education, but was a laundry route driver for the Parisian laundry and cleaners right here on 4th Street. And he purchased the business just before the outbreak of World War II. So there was a lot of laundered military uniforms, and William Presley Campbell pioneered that charge to get those uniforms and supply those uniforms during the war effort, World War II. So shout out to William Presley Campbell. So yeah, those Campbells were very community oriented people, and it's really interesting to learn about their history right here in Fulton, Kentucky. And really nicely done part to honor the Campbells. Okay, this is the Evans Drug Company pharmacy right here. And if you look through here, they have Tennessee and Kentucky Wildcats gear and a lot of, cool little knickknacks, but obviously its primary function is of a pharmacy. Again, that's the Evans Drug Company, and this is the Evans Total Care, which looks like they sell mobility equipment for the handicapped. population. Sarah Nicole Salon right here. Vine and Branch Floral Gift and Home Shop. And you have the local L&D Country Cafe right here. So side road. Benjamin Moore Paint Center right here. So yeah, these are the local, spots right here. Local mom and pop shops, all that good stuff. Just gonna take a look at a few of the churches right here in Fulton, Kentucky. This right here is the First Baptist Church. First Baptist Church, established in 1877. Looks like it was restored recently. It might have been restored as recent as 2013, but that's Fulton First Baptist Church right here. Bricks look relatively fresh. So is this, I guess this is a part of the church right here. This building looks like it also has some relatively recent bricks. First Baptist Church. Love Fulton. First Baptist Church, Pastor Stephen Cavaness. And this obviously is an older church building. We're talking late 18th or late 19th, early 20th century. Bricks definitely have a lot more wear on them. Stained glass window. A play area right there. Yeah, that's First United Methodist Church right there. Pastor Sue Engel Carrigan. This is at the corner of Carr Street and 2nd Street. And there's another church right over there. But there goes a marker for the nearby being the grave of Benjamin Franklin Carr, one of the first settlers of Fulton, Kentucky. He bought first land grant here in 1828, accumulated over 1,100 acres in Fulton, West Fulton, and Riceville. And the Carr home is 1 block west. His family gave land for the first railroad in area, First Baptist and First Christian churches. Okay, interesting. So all this land was owned by Benjamin Franklin Carr, and his grave sits up there. His grave actually sits over here in this plot of land right outside this church. So yeah, this is in a nutshell just a few of the churches right here in Fulton, Kentucky. Military vets who hailed from Fulton County, Kentucky, and served in the multitude of conflicts across America throughout history. Vietnam, they served, they fought, they died, and received neither their country's glory nor compassion. May this plot of land serve as a special tribute to them. So you have this gazebo right here at the center of this park. Nice gazebo. The citizens of Fulton, Kentucky proudly celebrate this time capsule celebrating 150 years to the future citizens of Fulton, to be opened on July 22nd, 2059. Beneath this capsule lies the past times we cherish and memories we pass on, placed by the Fulton County Tourism Commission. And you know what? This is not the first time I've seen a time capsule like this in one of those small towns. Just basically, you know, honoring those, the past, present, and now future. Which brings us to this historic building. This is the Meadows Hotel. The Meadows Hotel opened in 1901, and it was opened by prominent businessman W.W. Meadows as a 100-room hotel to serve the passengers of the Illinois Central Railroad. So it was renamed the Southern Hotel 1925. As you can see now, it has the bar on the lower level, but this building used to be a three-story building, but a winter fire in 1933 destroyed the building. So instead of allowing this original structure to wither away, which it was only left in fragments, this building was purchased by lifelong Fulton native Jeff Campbell. And back in 2016, he purchased a surviving property and launched a major renovation effort to keep the property from once again withering away. And here we go to this day, thanks to the efforts by Jeff Campbell and the locals. This hotel still stands to this day and remains a staple for the local residents to come and gather some lunch or dinner, or what have you. And I'm not sure what this building is right over here at this intersection on the state line of Tennessee. Looks like it says Joanne's. Looks like a relatively modern building. It looks nice though. And they have this sidewalk closed over here, so let me walk this way. Walk this way, talk this way. Yeah. Guess I'm gonna have to use this over here as a crosswalk. It's not really any crosswalks over here. So always stop. Go ahead and cross over here. And by crossing over here, I just crossed into the state of Tennessee. That goes again, the Tennessee state flag along with the American flag. And it brings me over to Unity Park. So Unity Park looks like a pretty nice little place to take a nice little walk. Matter of fact, let me go over here to the pavement. There's a Jim's Fireworks over there. So I guess once you cross over there, you're basically in Tennessee. But yep, this is Unity Park. Nice quiet afternoon in town. And this is called the Barbie Hardy Unity Park Amphitheater. And it was named in honor of this lady right here, Miss Barbie Hardy, dedicated in 2018, shortly after her transition that she made on August 11, 2018. Looks like she was only 54 years old. And it has a quote right here where it says, "She flew up to heaven on the wings of angels by the clouds and stars and passed where no one sees." And this quote was from Alan Jackson. So shout out and RIP to Miss Barbie Hardy, who this amphitheater is named after, right here at Unity Park. And I think it's really nice that this small town has an amphitheater so that people can be entertained as well as coming to get some fitness and spiritual cleansing in the form of a walk right by the water. You also have a playground, and you can walk your dog on this trail as well, jog and whatnot. So it's a really nice park. Again, it's called Unity Park. So I feel like this park it looks like it's kind of confusing. It looks like this park might actually sit in Fulton, Kentucky, and once you cross over this way, you'll be in Tennessee. I think that's how it works. It straddles the state line, so I think if you walk up this way, you'll be more so into Tennessee. But I think we're still on, as of now, walking on this trail in the state of Kentucky. Yep. We have the restrooms right there. You have these little pavilions or structures. I don't know if you call them pavilions or little structures. They got the pond over there. And you also have, you have this grill. So you come over here, bring the charcoal and fire up the grill, if need be. And just come out here and have a relaxing time right here at Unity Park here in Fulton, Kentucky, which brings me to the conclusion of this vlog. Thanks again, everybody, for tuning in to another vlog, courtesy of P9. If you made it this far, make sure you hit the like button. Also, if you're new to the channel, make sure you hit the subscribe button along with the notification bell. And once you hit the bell, make sure you select all. That way you get notified every time I drop a new vlog. That in mind, good people, thanks again for tuning in, and see you guys on the next one. Peace.